Okay, everybody, today we're going to have a quick study guide and we're going to try to solve a couple of problems that you guys should work on Code HS. You can also work them on Eclipse and just copy and paste. I'm going to quickly create a new um, Java class where we start our first exercise. And this one is called Simple Calculator. It's going to be a very simple program. You click on public static void main and um, let's make it right here. See if we can do it again. New class and simple calculator. Okay. And here we go. So let me explain really quick what we should do. I'm going to copy and paste the problem. In this problem, you will have to write a program that just takes in two numbers and basically just select the operation that you're going to do, and then it's either addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, and then perform the selected operation depending on what option the user chose. So, as I said, every single program should require the import java.util, okay, and this will export or import, sorry, the libraries needed for the scanner class. Then inside the public static void main, which is our main method, we have to create the scanner reader, and here we will create a reader, new scanner. And as I said, this is something that you should memorize by heart. This is something that you're always going to use for your programs. Okay, after this, let's try to like abstract the problem, what we need. So the first thing is ask the user for two user inputs or two integer numbers, and then ask them for an operation. Okay. Okay, and following that is just selecting the different options and doing the calculations if needed. Okay, so let's start asking the user what we need. So let's say, okay, this is the simple calculator. Remember, there's just a message. Please enter the two numbers to compute, right? And that's the first thing we want to do. And then we can say enter number one, and then enter number two. We will do it in a second. So after the person enters number one, remember that we use the reader. We create a variable called num1, and the reader will just take in that information for the variable. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with number two, right? And I will store the information. So that's the first part of the problem, is storing the information in the variables that we need. Then we need to create the conditional statements. And these conditional statements are options from 1 to 4, where they say addition is going to be 1, subtraction 2, multiplication 3, and division 4. So let's ask the person again to input like their option, enter option, and here we're going to say addition is 1, subtraction is 2, and then multiplication 3, and then division 4. Okay, and here we're going to input like the option, and we're going to put reader.nextInt. Okay, now we have the numbers and the options. Now we can create our conditional statement where we say if option is equal to 1. Remember that we use equal sign to compare. We use only one equal sign to assign. So they're different. When you use the two equal signs, you're comparing this option with the number 1, okay, if they're integer numbers. So if it's option 1, then we're just going to say system.out.println, and we're going to say print out num1 plus num2, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to create the other options right away. Of course, we need to complete them with else if. So else if option is equal to 2, then we're going to say system.out.println, and then we're going to say num1 minus num2. Okay, so that would be like the operations that we need, and we're going to do it with all the other ones. Okay, so we have entered all the options, option 3, 4, and our else is going to be just in case they put any other number different from 1 to 4, and in this case we're going to just um, put enter a valid option. Okay, now this program should work immediately. Okay, let's see if it works, and we're going to see what happens. Now, hopefully it's going to work just one time. So it says enter number 1, and let's say this is 12. Enter number 2, let's say 5, and then enter an option addition 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's say let's add these two numbers. We should get 17. So 1, and we get the number 17. Okay, so the problem is that this program is only working once. What if we wanted this program to work infinitely? Then we could use just a while true statement in order to make it like run forever in any case, and that would be it. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to put the while loop, a while true loop. This means that this is going to be a while that it's never going to go out of it until there's a break at some point. We're not going to use a break. So the while true comes over here. I like to put it this way. Remember we can format this later on with just a simple click. And I'm missing my other bracket that closes the while loop. This one closes this one is going to close this one. And finally, we have, of course, our public static void main. This is our main method, and then our class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, and I'm just going to click on Shift Control F, Shift Control F, or Shift Command F on Mac, and it will give me the format for what I need. So this is already indented. I can see that it's really well organized, and I can see all the if and else statements right away. And I can see that it closes every single line of code. Okay, I can minimize this and see that my method, everything is inside my public static void main method. Okay, so in this case now the program is going to work infinitely, as I said, and let's try it with 2 and 3, and then let's just say that this is a multiplication, and I get 6, and then I can start putting numbers again, and it will continue on and on. Okay, guys, so this is our first exercise. I hope you liked it. I hope you study it, and get ready for the test. Okay, the second problem that we're going to cover in this study guide is a temperature converter. So we're going to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit, depending on an option that we choose for each one. So again, it is important to start understanding what the problem says. So it says create a Java program that converts temperatures between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Ask the user to enter a temperature along with its unit, like F for Fahrenheit or C for Celsius. And depending on those two, then we're going to convert the temperature to the other unit and display the result. Okay, so here it's important what we want to do. So basically we want to ask the user for the number, and what it's going to, we are going to know that it's either Fahrenheit or Celsius by asking the user for an F or a C. Okay, and we can make it like dummy proof, asking the user that always put a capital F or a capital C, so we don't have to do much with our inputs. Later on in this course, I'm going to teach you that a person should be able to write it in any form. So as our previous program, you should import the java.util, and this is mandatory just to use all the libraries. Again, we're going to start with our scanner object, and this is the one that is going to allow us to create our inputs. Okay, it always goes, I always use reader. Remember that this is the object's name. You can put whatever you want. Okay, in this case is the reader, and let's start asking our user for a number. So enter value of temperature, And in this case, I am going to ask the reader to put, and can be a double because the temperature can be point something, and let's use a double instead. So we're gonna call it temp, and we're gonna read a next double in this case. Okay, now we have the value, and then we're gonna ask the person to just put if it's either enter F for Fahrenheit and or C for Celsius. Um, this is like the person wants to enter the value in Fahrenheit or wants to enter the value in Celsius. And here we need, of course, this is going to be a character or a string. We can use a character or we can use a string. Remember that strings, we'll see it later on, and strings are kind of like a hybrid between a relative uh, variable and primitive data type or relative data type. Okay, so for now, let's use a character because this is a character. So character uh, type, we're gonna say that this is gonna be equal to reader dot next string, and here we're gonna do a quick fix up because instead of using a character, I am going to put a string, okay? And I'll show you how we can compare between strings, okay? Okay, so basically we have two options right now, and one option is if the person puts F, and the other option if the person puts C. Okay, so the two options will be definitely if the type of the string is either an F or a C. So in this case, what we're going to do is if type where the string is located dot equals, and this is maybe a new function for you guys, and it's called type dot equals because a string cannot be compared with equal sign. That is the only difference. In order to compare two strings, we need to use the equals. So type dot equals, and it's equal to F, then in this case, what we're going to do is that we're going to put the formula for Fahrenheit. And here I have a formula that converts Celsius to Fahrenheit. So if the person puts F, it's because the person is putting it in F or Fahrenheit. Okay, so let's make a little modification here. Okay, so the two formulas that we need for this is if we want to convert Celsius, we just say 5/9 and then whatever the temperature is in Fahrenheit minus 32. And if we want to convert to Fahrenheit, we just say then temperature in Fahrenheit minus 32 multiplied 5/9. So in this case, in the first option, we need to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And here we're going to say, okay, double and final temp, and this is going to be the result temperature that we need, and we're going to use this formula. So we're going to say it's the Fahrenheit, whatever the person chose, and it's temp minus 32, right? And then this, we're going to multiply it by 5/9, which is 5/9. Okay, now remember that temp is a double, so we shouldn't have any difficulties with the operation. So a double minus an integer number is a double times two integers will give me a double in this case. But if you want to make sure, you can put one of these two numbers or the two numbers as doubles if you want to make sure that they're actually doubles in your operation. Okay, now if it's not F and we say, okay, if the person wrote a C, then we should do the other operation where we have double final temp 2, and in this case we will have the other formula where we have 5/9 and then it will be Fahrenheit minus 32. Okay, so we have 5/9, right? This is going to be multiplied by the temp minus 32. So this is, sorry. Okay, so the formula to obtain the Celsius, I'm sorry, we have I have a problem here. And the first one is going to be how to obtain the Celsius. Okay, if the person typed in Fahrenheit, we obtain the Celsius this way. Okay, which is 5/9, and the temperature times the temperature minus 32. Okay, so this is going to be in order to get the Celsius. Now, if the person entered Celsius, we need to obtain Fahrenheit, and Fahrenheit will be uh, the temperature, temp, multiplied 9/5, which is and we will get this plus 32. So those are the two different formulas to get the temperature in Fahrenheit and to get the temperature in Celsius. Okay. Now, after each of these computations, you can say system.out.println and the temp in Celsius is, and we can say final temp, and then we're going to add just the little Celsius. Okay. Then we're going to do exactly the same for this part for Fahrenheit, and the temperature in Fahrenheit is, and then we're going to say final temp 2, and then the little thing in Fahrenheit. Okay. So that would be our problem, our solution. And what if nothing is written, or the person didn't write what it was supposed to? And in this case, we're just going to say, just remember to put, please enter either F or C. Okay, this is important so we can tell the user to put this. And finally, remember, we want to make this like a while loop, a while true loop, so this can continue working on and on forever and ever. I'm gonna just open it here, and then I'm gonna close it down here just so we can have it. Now I'm gonna just select everything, Shift Control F, so we can get a nice format. And here we have the while true. Everything is inside the while, and here I have the operations that I need and the conditional statements that I need. So something to remember is that when you want to compare strings or letters or strings, you want to use the dot equals function, different from the simple calculator that we used before, where we have to compare numbers, and primitive data types are compared with equal. Okay, so that is it, and you guys should be ready to go and finish the other two problems that we have on Code HS, and good luck with that.